Cool.
So I thought we could talk about, obviously very prevalent in the minute, mental health, but without trying to go on for an hour about all the different facets of that. Maybe try and hone in on the gym environment and what that means with people that are like nervous coming into the gym, haven't been in a gym before, and maybe start there, because I'm pretty sure we'll talk about this more and more and do more videos and chats about it. But like, just try and, I guess, reassure people that no matter the nerves and anxiety that are involved, you'll only ever feel better after leaving the gym. Like, even if it's, it could be the worst scenario that the business owner or trainer wants, where the person doesn't become a member, doesn't train, doesn't do a PT session, whatever it might be, that person still had a conversation and still might walk out with a smile on their face. So that's still a win from where they were before they came in the door.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Yep. Okay. So a little bit more like gym anxiety and things like that, and a bit of how that's all.
It's like I think when people haven't been in a gym or certainly haven't trained regularly, they might look at people like us that train, with definitely more often, and they might think that we're just oblivious to the mental health side of stuff, and we're probably not. It's probably the opposite.
Yeah.
We're probably more susceptible to some of that stuff. And I want to try and show or talk about, like, those anxious feelings, let's just call it anxiety, are way more common in way more people than people think.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything I've been through in the past, which again we'll talk about more in depth at some point. I do feel that the biggest thing I learned from that was that everybody is going through that. It's just how well you're coping with it, and how much you've learned to maybe talk about it.
Yeah.
How open you can be about it, and it's absolutely fine not to be open about it. I get that, it's really difficult. But yeah, so it was just more about that the gym part of it, maybe, at the minute, or like getting out of your comfort zone and just having a chat.
Yeah.
Have you had like clients in that space, or?
I have, yeah. I've recently had a client in that space. So she's only young, very nervous, never stepped foot in the gym before.
Yeah.
Like, beautiful young girl. But the first couple of sessions that we had together, it was very much finding a space in the gym that was secluded, just to get her going, just to get her started, because she'd pick up a weight and put it down after one rep, refused to do anymore because she was so nervous. It was like almost crippling.
What about like how it looked, or how?
It looked fine. She was nervous about how it looked, because she was like, I didn't want to do it wrong, and I don't want to, I look stupid, or, you tell me if I do it wrong, right? And I'm going, like, I'm not going to make you do an exercise. I'm not going to keep you going on an exercise if you're going to hurt yourself, ever. I'm going to teach, I'm sort of explaining to her, I can't teach you how to do it if we don't do it.
Yeah.
So I'll take her to a part in the gym, and we'll go through certain exercises, and it's keeping her occupied as well. So a little bit more focused on other things opposed to just that, or whoever else is in the gym. And we've gotten better and better, and she's not scared now to go and sit next to someone else on a machine like she used to be.
Yeah.
So you watching those improvements are incredible, but it's also just, it is very common. Like gym anxiety, coming into a gym and things. I still, personally, when I walk into another gym that I don't know, that I've never been in before, you sort of walk around, you're like, okay, what machines have they got? Or, you don't know where anything is, so you're sort of like, okay, it's not.
It is. It's like when you go down that road, it's like when you it's like a home, isn't it? If you go into most people train at one gym, sometimes a couple, but if you're going there that often, it does become really comfortable, and it's like a second home from home. And then when you go somewhere else, suddenly you're outside of, even for people that know, like, are really diligent with their training, they're suddenly way outside that comfort zone.
Yeah.
So no, I get that. I found with and again, obviously it's going to depend client to client, but sometimes what I've done with not just young clients, but like really sort of nervous clients, definitely on that conversation about what are people thinking when they're watching me train, sort of how do I look when I'm training? Like you're saying, she was worried about what the exercise looked like. So I'll maybe finish the first session with someone or the second session. I might just say to them, oh, I'm supposed to be tracking weights for someone. Did you notice what such and such was lifting in the corner? Can you remember what he was lifting? And they'll have no idea what I'm talking about. And I'll be like, so do you get my point now that
Yeah. No,
you're very aware of the gym and yet you can't remember what that person over there was doing.
Yeah.
So I promise you, they can't remember what
you're
you were doing. And it's just to try and soften. It's like a little trick to try and soften that blow.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, and there's like obviously different ways, and like you've got to be careful because some people don't want to. Once they start overthinking, it spirals and they can't stop. So
yeah,
you have to be careful with it. But yeah, there's lots of little tricks, and then again, relevant to which like young, old, what you're dealing with the client. It's almost like exposure therapy in a way.
Yeah.
So like I'm pretty big on, particularly with males, and I'm not talking about toxic masculinity at all, but I'm pretty big on carrying yourself well, good posture, how you sort of portray yourself with your body language. So we do have a habit of, particularly young men, I've noticed lately with new clients and stuff, hands in pockets, like sort of shrunken sort of posture and those sorts of things. I really go quite quickly with, we've just lost a coffee there, by the way, guys. Silently done too.
Sorry, guys.
See you, mate.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Enjoy your day.
So just on that posture piece, it's like I'm quite quick out the blocks with, right, hands out pockets, like, and if we as trainers are slow with that, it's only going to compound what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're good with you're always up and about when you're training your clients, and you've always got that good demeanor and stuff. But it's something I have noticed with other coaches.
Okay, like hands in their pockets, sort of like just standing.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, and it's the same for everybody. We all get tired, So especially if it's like a 5 a.m. client or something.
Yeah.
But I think, and you can apply this to the trainer or the client. I think when we're not feeling great in our own headspace, we let that almost dictate how our body is. So we're a little bit down or a little bit worried or a bit anxious. It's all sort of snowballing a little bit within the headspace. We sort of let it bring our posture down, and we might not make as much. Yeah, we might not make as much eye contact and things. But I was literally chatting to Will, one of my good friends, yesterday about it. If you can, rather than let your mindset dictate your body language, you can just for a second, just go, you know what, I can control this. Brief second, I'm going to let my body language dictate my headspace.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, if you can just pin your shoulders back, you know how I'm always stand up straight with your shoulders back.
Yeah.
Just pin your shoulders back and stand up tall, just for a second. And I promise you, it'll immediately lift a little bit of that load in your head.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, little movements, and then you start moving more and you start moving more, and it compounds, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like hands in pockets, poor posture, those things, we have to see them as like indicators. Body language and posture.
Yeah, picking up on body language is a big one. I'm trying to help. So you can generally tell when someone's curled into themselves. And shoulders forward and things like that. And just trying
Says he who's crouched on a box, by the way.
On the box, yeah. Me too. That's all right. But as soon as you sort of see that, you're sort of picking up on things, and then you're trying to build that up and get them, like you say, standing tall.
Yeah.
Hands out of pockets is a good example and stuff, and they're not sort of talking as quiet, or you're sort of trying to bring them out a little bit, bring them up, but without actually saying it.
Yeah.
You're boosting their confidence without them realizing.
Yeah, I think we'll like, I know when I like obviously my story is a little bit longer and I want to go into that in depth at some point, because not for my own benefit. I actually think there's a lot of people with some struggles that might benefit from hearing about it and
definitely
realizing how real it is and normal it is and all that stuff. So I think we'll do a bit more chat on that at another time. But just a snippet of that, I know when I sort of got back to training after being ill, I would train with like, and I'm trying to familiarize this or, you know, sympathize with people that really walk through the door sort of covered up and feeling like they need to hide almost. So I know when I got back to the gym, I would wear a baseball cap. Peak would be pulled down pretty low. Definitely wearing a hoodie, most of the time with the hood up. And now I know that I was hiding. At the time, it was just like, oh, you know, I'm wearing a baggy hoodie before I train. It's a pump cover and all that shit. But I know I was hiding.
Yeah.
So I sympathize with people that are in that mindset. And I don't even know how many weeks it was for that I was doing that for that stage of my life.
Yeah.
One woman randomly said to me in the gym one morning, like Joe always used to say morning to us, I would always be polite. And I think it must have been coming into summer or getting warmer, and I didn't have the hood up. And obviously I must have been doing something that required us to take my hat off because I was getting hot. And she was like, I did not know that's what you looked like. And it was just the most like, it was really profound. And it might have just been the right person at the right time, which tends to happen in life.
Yeah.
It was like this profound moment where I went, that's like really not good.
Such an like an innocent comment almost has just turned a switch.
That I can see someone every morning at crazy o'clock in the morning when we used to train, and she had no idea what I would actually really look like. Because I was in a safe space, which gyms are.
Yep.
Yet hiding away. So yeah, I sort of use little bits of that story to try and help my clients, and not even clients, just friends and whoever I can pass my stuff on to. But yeah, you're not alone if you feel like that.
No, and being in a gym space, like you say, is a safe space. It is a place that, you know, you get to know people in the gym, and eventually, obviously, she's seen you.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's sort of said hello all the time. You guys have created that sort of rapport of a good morning or whatever. And then, you know, you do eventually get to meet people, and you do get to know them. And sometimes some of the people that you meet in a gym become lifelong friends because you do have.
Oh, I mean, we're evidence of that, like ourselves for a start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then you build that confidence up from that point. So there's all of us sort of tend to go through that when we first start. Eventually, probably not quite everyone as much. Some people have more confidence, and that's fine. But that's where this environment is made to build people up. It is made to help you mentally, physically.
I think,
but especially mentally, more a lot more than what people realize.
I think if I might be wrong, and I'm only thinking out loud, I think if people could, rather than coming into the gym as nervous about what this person that might be really good at this is thinking about me or those things, like literally come through the door with the mindset of, regardless of where everybody's at, everyone's come through the door to try and better themselves a little or a lot, like whichever the goals are. It's actually a place of common interest. And there might be all different types of athlete and client and things, but generally speaking, everybody's come through the door to better themselves. So it's actually like common ground for everyone.
Yeah, it is.
And I think if you can just shift that mindset a little bit, the rest will just happen organically as you get into the habit of training or moving, and just like the whole conversation piece is part of it as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I definitely learned a lot as a trainer about, we obviously have to listen a lot. It's not just about, I know I'm an expert at talking, but we have to listen a lot. And part of people coming through the door is that, like I say, even just the conversation piece. Like we're giving them a safe space where they can chat with someone that's not like friend, family, the usual space. They're moving their body at the same time. So now suddenly physiologically, they're going to feel
10 times better.
10 times better. Or what? Yeah, like the end's like it's limitless, really.
Yeah.
Again, from personal experience.
Mm.
But yeah, I've had all sorts of different, both as the owner and like members, but clients too.
Mm-hmm.
I really do read into body language a lot.
Yeah.
And try and look at that and think, well, how can I help this person? How can I break like a little bit of the shell that's up?
Yeah. Well, you're listening to them before they even start talking. You're looking at their body language. You're reading them. You're listening to them without them talking, which is a massive skill. And you're looking at the bigger picture as a whole and helping them in that space before they even open up to you.
Yeah, I think if you like, when we're talking about it on a more professional level, if you start thinking about what can support them best, encourage them, motivate them, make them feel more confident, the results, so let's call that weight loss, muscle gain, numbers if they're looking for PBs on exercise, that'll all come as byproducts of the other process. Whereas we need to help them learn that the numbers is a byproduct rather than concentrating on the numbers first. Let's just get you really comfortable moving, happy in the space. Yeah, it's been amazing, like obviously being here, that I get to see like friendships form and people just, I could literally list 50 people that were super nervous, and now big smiles on the face, like. And that's why, like, someone comes in the door, and this is just generally, it doesn't even have to be in a gym, just always say hello to someone, always say goodbye to someone, just general etiquette, like, who would have thought that those things have to be.
I still do that walking down the street.
Yeah, just morning,
everyone.
how are you doing?
Yep.
Because some people are going through some horrible stuff.
Yeah, never know what someone's going through.
So, like, one smile or interaction might just change the course of their day.
100%. Yeah, I agree. And it's being able to say hello to people and then see them sort of come in first, and they're a bit like, oh, it's really early in the morning. And you say good morning, you say their name, and they're like, oh, and they just get this like look on their face.
Yeah, it's trying to find. Like when I was chatting to Will yesterday about the body language side of stuff, you can use that as, it's like an indicator, isn't it, of what someone might be feeling inside. It's like we just need to encourage them enough to just lift enough to let. It's like cracking a door open, right? Like in a pit, it's a really dark, pitch black room. If you crack a door open just enough, let a little bit of light in, like that room is entirely different, even by that tiny little bit. It's not that suddenly you've turned the light on. But the room's a very different space, right? And me and my wonderful little analogies. I was just thinking about it and how interesting it is that like that smallest little interaction or movement can create such a shift in that stuff. And darkness and light's obviously quite a good way of explaining it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
At times.
You're in a dark place and you let that little bit of light in, and definitely changes your outlook. Yep.
Doesn't feel so heavy.
No.